Hi, I'm Maisie Ray and you're watching Coast Community News 5 at 5, June 25. Coming up this week, Covid-19 restrictions hit the coast, highlights of the state budget, the demolition of a popular Woy Woy playground, a Services Australia agent opens in Ettalong, the Five Lands Walk postponed. We're starting things off with David, who has more details on the range of Covid-19 restrictions announced for the coast.
Yes, thanks Maisie. More severe restrictions are in place for some Central Coast commuters whose usual place of work is within the 4 local government areas named in the latest health order today. Those LGAs are Woollahra, Waverley, Randwick and City of Sydney councils. Those affected include all members of State Parliament who will now need to self-isolate for at least 7 days. We talked to the Parliamentary Secretary for the Central Coast, Adam Crouch, today to help clarify these new restrictions.
Thanks, David. Look, it has been a big week. Obviously, I'm isolating myself now, I've been in Parliament for the week. Obviously, with the Premier's announcements today, what it means is that anybody who has been working in those LGAs needs to basically go into lockdown for a week. And that is obviously a precautionary issue that the Premier and Dr. Chan have announced. It's not something we take lightly, but obviously this is to help keep people safe. And
back to you, Maisie.
The state budget handed down on Tuesday has met a mixed reception on the Central Coast.
The Clean government has extended the regional seniors travel card for the next 2 years for the Central Coast's 40,000 seniors. There's $100 Learn to Swim vouchers for preschool-aged children and $365 million to phase out single-use plastics across New South Wales. $45 million to continue the Faster Rail program between Sydney, Newcastle and the Central Coast, as well as $10 million to transition the New South Wales bus fleet from diesel to zero-emission buses. Meanwhile, closer to home, work will begin on the commuter car park at Tuggerah train station, as well as accessibility upgrades, with $17.8 million allocated to the project. Point Clare, Lisarow, Narara and Niagara Park stations also received funds. $27.8 million has been put on the table to continue the duplication of the Pacific Highway at Lisarow. $6.6 million for Mans Road intersection upgrades at Narara Creek and Stockyard Place. $4 million to continue planning for the Pacific Highway at Wyong. And there was a win for the Central Coast Local Health District's 8,000 staff, each receiving a 2.5% pay increase. $880,000 to purchase and install energy-efficient systems at Gosford Hospital, and there's a new hospital security package to improve staff safety at Gosford and Wyong hospitals. As far as schools, there's $16.1 million to complete the new Porters Creek Public School at Warnervale. $400,000 in additional funding will be awarded to the Central Coast P&Cs. $830,000 will also go to upgrading Brook Avenue Public School at Killarney Vale. $8.1 million has been allocated to improve social housing across the region, as well as $3.1 million to construct new social housing in Gosford. As far as infrastructure, Gosford Courthouse will receive a major makeover, as well as Gosford Racecourse. A number of mental health programs on the Central Coast have also received funding, and 5 local surf life-saving clubs will also share $318,000 for upgrades.
The planned demolition of the Woy Woy Wharf playground has now been put on hold after community backlash sparked a fierce outcry from families and local businesses. A protest will be held at the Fisherman's Wharf this Saturday to try and save the playground, starting at 11 a.m. Here is a report by Sky.
It's a popular playground that's been part of the Peninsula community for more than 50 years.
We're here at least twice a week. It's the only one within walking distance that she can actually use.
But Pelican Park at Woy Woy was set to be demolished by Central Coast Council tomorrow.
It's been a major part of just the Woy Woy waterfront for so long, is that it's become an icon. So to lose it is you pulling out an icon something of an icon status.
Many locals only finding out today via social media.
Yeah, not until this morning, when I saw it on Facebook.
People are outraged. A friend of mine's going to come here at 7 o'clock in the morning and chain herself to the playground. People have... It's a beautiful sentimental value. People's kids have grown up here.
All right, Central Coast Council has said in a statement that it has been in discussions with locals since October 2019 and that Pelican Park no longer meets Australian safety standard due to roots from a heritage listed tree destroying the play space, and it is not suitable to be rebuilt. Council, however, is building a new playground 75 metres down the road at Anderson Park, which is set to open next month.
Something that we need to have proper community consultation before we go ripping out a park and leaving it vacant for some period of time before that next one's even finished.
However, the nearby Fishermen's Co-op doesn't believe the park poses any immediate risk.
We've been here decades, we've never seen any kid get injured in the park before. Even when it used to have the old bumpy hot slides that used to go through there when it was all sand and everything like that, there's never been any major injuries here. So
for sure, and working into the future, councils around the world, governments around the world have worked out how they can manage heritage listed trees without destroying any of the built environment close by, and perhaps even enhancing and celebrating that built environment.
Central Coast Council has confirmed demolition won't begin in the morning. It will instead wait until the new playground is complete.
Ettalong locals now have access to Centrelink and Medicare services with the opening of a Services Australia agent this week. It comes after the Ettalong Centrelink permanently closed down in February. Our reporter Sky was down at Ettalong to visit the opening of the service on Pacific Avenue.
Well, this is really exciting. It's something I've been fighting for a number of months now for the people of the peninsula. When the Services Australia building was forced to close down due to redevelopment, not a decision of the government but a forced closure, I worked really hard with the Minister for Services Australia to make sure that there was still a Services Australia presence here on the peninsula. So today's a really exciting day, something that we've fought hard for to make sure that local residents can walk around the corner and get access to the services that they need.
To me, it's a really disappointing response for the people of Ettalong. That was 4 months ago that was taken away with an excuse that there was no real estate available, which when you talk to people and real estate agents on the ground in Ettalong, there was definitely space to put that in immediately. Now we've got an agent which has got still lots of our seniors who've had to travel to Woy Woy. We've been dumped on our Woy Woy office, and now those seniors have to do all the downloading and support themselves with this agent. So we'll wait and see how that pans out.
Many people think of Services Australia as like Centrelink, and that is absolutely true, but you know, you can also, there's also services around Medicare, services for child support, services traditionally associated with Centrelink. This is great news for people such as pensioners who may want to be able to deal directly with Centrelink.
The Five Lands Walk scheduled for Saturday will be postponed due to concerns over the Sydney COVID cluster and the latest public order, which saw a tightening of restrictions for 1 week from Tuesday. Here's Sky with more details.
Yeah, so we had a thorough meeting last night, well into the late evening with the committee, and it was unanimous that the decision was made, as much as it was a difficult decision, that the best thing for us to move forward with is to postpone the event. The thought of people wearing masks throughout the 10K walk, we've got some very steep hills, and we're also concerned, obviously, for the risk for the wider community. So we're looking at a date in the very near future, potentially in the next 4 weeks, but we've really got to work with a number of different stakeholders, Central Coast Council being, of course, the first one, and then a number of other stakeholders. We hold all of our events in the surf club, so we've got to make sure that there's availability across the board there.
And now over to sport.
Yes, sports reporter Hawk is in lockdown. So you got me. The Central Coast Mariners have undergone 2 further losses to their starting lineup, spearheaded by the stepping down of head coach Alan Stajic last week. Jack Clisby and Danny De Silva are both set to leave the club at the expiration of their contracts this month. For Clisby, it's now a turn for his own home club in Perth, for whom he played his debut A-League game in 2013. The news has also broken this week of several re-signings. So far, Kyle Rolls and Dan Hall have both re-signed for 2 more years, as has goalkeeper and recent joint receiver of the Goalkeeper of the Year honours, Mark Berrigitti. Matt Simon has also re-signed, which is good news for many, has debutant Ruan Tongyik for the team's starting backline. We spoke with Kyle Rolls and asked for his opinions for who was behind its team's improvement in the defence this season.
The season that RT had, I mean, not many people were getting through the big man, so that always helps. And then like Beerers again having another like just incredible year, and then Cliz and Steph as well. Like, and then even the young boys that come in and helped out when, you know, we had like minutes, you know, had to get monitored and stuff like that. But I think just the consistency that the back five were playing together, we all knew where everyone needed to be, and we were just on the same wavelength pretty much the whole year. So I think that was like a big contributor as well.
Back to Harry with the weather.
The weekend ahead looks to be nice and sunny, a nice contrast to the wet weather of last weekend. Starting off on the coast, where it'll be 18 and mostly sunny on Saturday, with a low of 8. There'll be a light westerly to northwesterly breeze, ranging from 15 to 20 k's, becoming lighter in the afternoon. On Sunday, it will be a little cooler, with a top of 16 and a low of 6. It will also be mostly sunny, and there will be light winds throughout the day. Moving now to Mangrove Mountain, where it'll be sunny and 16 on Saturday with a low of 6. On Sunday, the high will be 15 with a low of 4, and like the coast, there'll be light breezes throughout the weekend. The wet weather looks like it'll be coming back through the week, with a high chance of rain from Monday through to Wednesday, with temps sitting around the high teens. Back to you, Maisie.
Thanks, Harry. All of these stories and thousands more can be found on our website or in this week's Coast Community News, Coast Community Chronicle and the Pelican Post. Remember to subscribe to all of our socials for updates throughout the week. Many events have been cancelled this weekend, including local sports and the popular Avoca Beach markets, so check online before you make your trip. Have a good weekend.